no entrance music.
Like a lady. Dude looks like a lady. Dude looks like a lady.
That was a fucking hate crime. Dyslexic transvestite walked into a bra. Never underestimate the importance of good entrance music. It was either that or Mysterious Girl. So my name's Abby Miles, the world's premier female meatloaf impersonator. Stefan asked me to sing a few songs tonight. But I won't do that. So I grew up in the 1980s with the strong male role models of the time. Prince, Freddie Mercury, Jimmy Krankie. My father was a pantomime dame. Oh yes, he was. And my mother was a seamstress. She used to try dresses on me because she couldn't afford to buy a dummy. Luckily, I escaped unscathed with no lasting psychological effects. So, the more observant amongst you are probably thinking, Susan Boyle's let herself go. So I'd like to address the obvious question on your minds. No, this is not my natural hair colour. So I am in fact transgender. I know, I hide it well. I'm the only person I know who threw their own gender reveal party. So I've been diagnosed with something called gender dysphoria. For those who don't know what it is, basically it means I'm not comfortable in my own foreskin. So coming out to my parents was quite difficult. My father was in hospital following a massive heart attack, really ill. And understandably, my mum was very worried. So I thought, I know, I'll take her mind off it. So I sat her down, told her everything, and her words have stuck with me. She said, I really don't understand, but I support you. Isn't that lovely? Maybe now isn't a good time to tell your dad, though. My mum's always coming out with daft stuff, though. I went to see my parents recently. I was wearing a beautiful green dress, and my mum was there looking at me. She said, I'm trying to think who you remind me of from the telly. I said, oh, who's that? And she said, well, yesterday, I was watching Shrek. My own mum thinks I look like Princess Bloody Fiona. Last time I got a Mac makeover. I have learned a lot about hair and makeup in the last 2 years though. One day I might put some of it into practice. Don't hold your breath, it takes hours to look this mediocre. But I've been doing more girly things. I've got a nail tech now, that's quite cool. She checks my nails every couple of weeks, makes them pretty. And the one week she looked, she said, they're getting a bit long now. We need to have a talk. All right, Tracy, you're a nail tech, calm down. She said, you really need to remember, those aren't sex fingers anymore. You're gonna hurt someone. Tracy has a higher opinion of my chances than I do right now. But being of a certain age is quite a challenge. Like most of my friends, I'm on HRT. They're all going through menopause at the moment. I'm going through puberty. So good, I did it twice. I've had some really unwelcome side effects with the HRT though. Recently I discovered I've completely lost the ability to, parallel park. I no longer understand the offside rule. And I frequently come close to peeing myself. That's mainly because I don't know what toilet I'm allowed to use anymore. It's not all bad though. It's not all bad. I do tick a lot more diversity boxes now, so I get a lot more bookings. That's nice. I make a banging gravy. And I always get a seat on the bus. That's mostly because I look pregnant. It's not all fun and games though. I can go from horny teenager to evil hell bitch in the time it takes to eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's. I have had a few of them in my time. This is the body Ozempic forgot. On the large side, I do identify as skinny though. I'm what they call trans-slender. I have recently been diagnosed with a really inconvenient combination of illnesses. It's not good. Apparently I have bulimia and amnesia. I binge eat, forget to vomit. You know. So dating has become a bit of a problem for me. It's a bit weird, if you can imagine such a thing. I mean, look at me. So most of my friends are straight women, so we tend to go to a lot of regular pubs and clubs. That and the fact I won't go to a gay bar because I hate ABBA and Steps. So these days, if I see a girl I like in a bar, I don't ask if she's single now. I have to ask if she's got a gay sister. I was telling a friend recently about my predicament, and she said, well, just bite the bullet. Why don't you just go for men? I said, no. She said, go on, where there's a will, there's a way. I said, yeah, in my case, where there's a willy, there's no fucking way. But my social life has improved no end now. The girls at work invited me to Coyote Ugly recently for bottomless brunch. Yeah. They didn't tell me bottomless meant drinks, not dress code. Last time they asked me to dance on the bar. Certainly put the cock in cocktails that night. It's always been a problem for me, the dating thing though. I've had some pretty weird exes. They've all had strange obsessions and things. One of them was obsessed with dungarees for a while. She wanted to get a pair of dungarees. And I said, no. 2 types of people can wear dungarees. Pregnant women, decorators. And lesbians, but I'm not brave enough to tell them otherwise. I said, you're neither. No dungarees. So about 3 months later, I came back from work. She was very excited. She looked at me. She said, I can finally get those dungarees. Happiest day of my life. I was so pleased. My kitchen was finally getting painted. Sadly though, she lost it. It was a very difficult time for us both. Put us through a lot of misery. But on the bright side, no dungarees, so not all bad. And then my most recent ex and I, before we split, we had this massive argument. And she turned to me, she said, your problem is that you make everything about you. So last year I wrote and published my life story, and this year I took up stand-up, so that showed her. But yeah, I've always loved stand-up comedy. I always wanted to get involved. Ironically, it's only now I've had the balls to do it. But I've been trying my best to get paid work in comedy. It's very difficult. You end up taking what you can. And recently I took a gig in a fetish club. I say gig. I have a humiliation fetish, so I thought if people were paying to laugh at me, it was a win-win. So I got up on stage, I did my set, nobody laughed. Best night ever. But I've been trying to work on my comedy and make it funnier. What I've been doing recently is studying some of the old classic comedians of old. And I've realised they all had some sort of addiction issue or some sort of deep personal trauma they could draw from. Obviously, I have nothing like that. So I thought I'm going to have to do something. I thought, I know, I'm going to get myself a drug habit. So I did what all middle-aged women do. I went on Facebook to see what I could find. And there it was in front of me, the solution. I found myself a local meth dealer. So this is perfect. Should have gone to Specsavers. Yeah, I was a local moth dealer. My front room now looks like Silence of the Lambs. At least I remember to put the lotion on my skin now. But before comedy, I did all the normal, regular kind of jobs. I was a car mechanic, aircraft fitter, pro wrestler, all the standard things. None of them match the glamour of stand-up comedy. I say glamour. It's mostly playing tiny little venues, driving home late at night, counting the traffic cones between Bristol and Cardiff. 1,987 if anyone's interested. And learning how to maximise your Tesco meal deal. For those who need to know, triple sandwich, energy drink, Lindor bar. Winner, absolute winner. But I do a lot of gigs now, and I've got a little ritual I follow every time I do a gig. I'll be driving somewhere, I listen to a lot of music, and I practice my set in the car. I don't smoke a lot of cigarettes. Sorry, there's three things I do on the way to gigs is I listen to music, practice my set, smoke a lot of cigarettes, and eat my Tesco meal deal. Four things I do on the way to gigs is listen to music, practice my set, smoke a lot of cigarettes, eat my meal deal, and imagine other road users naked. You're behind me on the motorway, aren't so, I forgot. So, as I say, listen to a lot of music, big fan of rock music. Any rock fans in tonight? Specifically, any Metallica fans in tonight? Have you heard, after the big tour next year, James Hetfield, the singer, is retiring? Apparently he's leaving music completely. He's opening a little bed shop called Nothing Else Mattress. It was difficult growing up as a rock fan in the 80s in Wales. We didn't get any of the good bands. We got really poor tribute acts. We had Talbot Green Day. Not so much American Idiot as Pontypridd Pisshead. We had Merthyr Head, and their classic, Ace of Blades. And from Deepest, Darkest Newport, we had Limp Bizkit, and their classic, Rolling. Need to change the name. The Iron Maiden tribute band didn't go down so well in Wales, though. Calling the band Iron Lady. Not a great move. Trouble was, every time at their concerts, every time a pet opened up, they closed it down. So I was listening to some music on the way in my car, Got the little screen in my car, tells me the band and the song, and little warning in case it's got naughty words, it says explicit. And the Green Day song came on, and I saw the screen, and I thought, I guessed that, Alexa. The song was called Fuck Off. Why the warning? So that's just about time for me. So before I go, I'm going to quickly finish with a public service announcement. So as I said earlier, last year I wrote and published my life story, Abnormal, available from all good bookshops and Amazon. Please buy it. I'll get about 40 pence. But I did recently do a book signing in Waterstones. Yeah, thank you. That's more than any of you've done. Yeah, I wrote I Hate You on 9 3/4 Harry Potter books. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been fantastic. I've been Abby Miles. Good night.
Please give it up to a big laugh. Fantastic. Abby